I want to say, what makes you proud of Uganda? What are some things that actually make you stand out as a Ugandan? How can we describe you as a Ugandan? Even when you do not say a thing, even when you do not introduce yourself, what can we actually look at and say that particular individual is from Uganda? Even when we find you in the diaspora, even when we find you in different areas as well of this particular world entirely. But yes, we are just cruising through. All the moods are over Friday, all the moods are of independence, tomorrow being a public holiday, all the moods are over Fun Friday, ladies and gentlemen, and this is how we've just decided to roll it through. We're still roaring and going on, ladies and gentlemen. This is the time where I want to actually take you into our riddle and ask you a particular question. Probably, if at all you answer this particular one, you can definitely go on and let us know what is this particular question all about. If you answer it rightly, you definitely stand yourself to win some of the merchandise that we have here at the MCI Media Hub entirely. Of course, I will ask you one beautiful question. What has hands but can't clap? What has hands but it can't clap? You know, these hands are used for clapping, but there is a particular thing or a particular anything that has hands but it doesn't clap. Go ahead and visit our social media platforms and let us know what are we talking about, so that you can definitely be part of this particular equation in there. It is our riddle that we are asking today, and we want to actually let you know and let us you to let us know what we are definitely talking about in our jumpstart this beautiful morning.
We know that it can be hard to get your brain moving after a long sleep. Jumpstart your brain this morning. They seem easy but logically challenging. The jumpstart on the puzzle, every piece in its position.
Interestingly enough, they seem so easy but logically challenging. Just visit our social media platforms and let us know what has hands but it can't clap. What has hands but it can never clap entirely as well. I want us to switch very quickly to our news previews and look into what has been written about in the dailies before we delve into what we're going to be discussing today and what we're going to be talking about entirely this particular morning. On the puzzle, as we connect all the dots and place each and every single piece in its position, we want to let you know that you are also part of this particular radio station. You are part of this particular show, and of course this is MCI Radio for African Voices. If at all you're an African, if at all you're Ugandan, if at all you're Kenyan, if at all you're from South Sudan, this is a radio station for you, of course depicting and picking African voices entirely. As we get into this, let's just jump into our news previews this beautiful morning.
Took precedent. You can nap all through the night. A lot took precedent. We gather for you what happened as we look into the dailies and provide broader coverage of particular issues. Right here on the puzzle, every piece in its position.
Well, today in our news previews, we want to start off with some information coming through from the Dial Post, whereby it is, of course, it starts off with another, it's a little bit fleeting kind of headline, but if at all you look at it, some people would welcome it, others wouldn't welcome it, so it depends on which side you're at. Of course, it's likely Christianity without Christ. Of course, DP1's new opposition pressure group on Makanku, a misrepresentation. So the Democratic Party has blasted the newly formed opposition pressure group, that is the People's Front for Transformation, call it the PFT, of a misinterpretation. So it should be remembered that yesterday there is a particular group that came together to form this People's Front for Transition that is actually looking at ending President Museveni's term before 2026. Will they be able to excel? Will they actually fulfill whatever they actually are looking at, their objectives? Because we've seen a lot of different pressure groups being formed over time, from the People Power recently that was created, but I I think they have not so far fulfilled their major, of course, objective, that is to put President Museveni from that position. So this particular one was formed yesterday. Actually, I was watching news yesterday and I saw the Lord Mayor Elias Lukwago. I saw the FDC flag bearer, that is Amriat Patrick Oboy. I also saw Kenny Luchamzi in there and different other political leaders. But I never saw, the NOP coming through. I never saw President the former presidential candidate, that is Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, of course, coming in here. But of course, he was so absent as the newly, pressure group was launched, of course, yesterday. And of course, NOP also writes about it here. Bobi Wine is NOP absent as opposition launches new pressure group to oust President Museveni. Of course, it should be noted that during the launch held at the JEMA headquarters in Mengo, Dr. Kizza Besigye was unveiled as the national chairperson, and Kampala Lord Mayor as the first national deputy chairperson of the pressure group. Speaking to the launch, presidential candidate, the former one, that is Besigye, said the new front will take the final assault on the current NRM government. So in his words, he said this struggle has taken a very long time. A lot of words have been broken and spoken, and this is the time to put words into action. We have come together to confront a crisis that this country is facing. We must also stand up and confront it. We have tested other ways, and I am an expert in that. We realized the elections could not lead us anywhere because the whole country is captive. That was, the former presidential candidate, that is Kizza Besigye, talking about the pressure group yesterday. But moving on swiftly, AfriCell seizes mobile money services customers to access payments through Stanbic Bank. So if at all you have an AfriCell line and you've had some money onto that particular line, so you are now to access payments through Stanbic Bank as well. Moving on swiftly, a malaria vaccine that could save thousands of lives in Africa given a go ahead. There is this particular vaccine that has been newly introduced onto the market that is looked at as something that is going to be able to cap malaria cases in the entire Africa. So if at all you need to get to understand what could be, this vaccine all about, this is where you have to read this particular article in the Nile Post that is being written about today. You can grab yourself a soft copy or a hard copy on the streets of Kampala. Moving on swiftly, a police leadership to meet President Museveni over Lokechi's replacement as deputy IGP as well. Remember, ever since the death of the deputy IGP, that is Paul Lokech, we've never replaced the deputy IGP. So police leadership is to actually state, they are to actually create and make a meeting with President Museveni to see that they are going to be able to do this particular one. But still, Guinness Powers influencers, as Zawi's pre-album releases listening sessions, that is in the world of entertainment. But moving on swiftly into the Daily Monitor, we want to actually find out what the Daily Monitor is writing about. Of course, here, a Ghana Nobel Prize victory for Tanzania and Africa as well. Of course, if I told you, and this particular story, I understand pretty much, is one that will motivate you and inspire you as an African. This is Tanzania's government hailed Zambia-born novelist, that is Abdulrazak Guna, on Thursday for winning the Nobel Lecturer Prize, calling it a victory for the country and the African continent as well. As a Ghana who grew up on the island of Zanzibar but lived in England as a refugee at the end of the 1960s, that is about 50 or 60 years ago, is the fifth African to win this particular prize. A round of applause for this beautiful man. If at all you need to know of the story of this Nobel Prize, of course you can definitely go and find out more of this particular story. But moving on swiftly, of course, suspected terrorists target local politicians, says police, and UPDF recovers 12 guns from LDU deserters. And of course, I think this is something super bad. If at all you deserted from the LDU, you need to actually return the guns. I don't know if there is a system that disarms these particular people that have been into the army, because over time we've seen a lot of different cases in community and the country at large whereby people are possessing guns illegally, and this leads to death of people. This leads to people actually killing one another. So I think there are not only 12 guns. Police and the UPDF have to actually make another, let's say, another check-up, cleaning, the room, and see if at all they are definitely gonna be able to redeem these particular guns. But pastor accused of sodomy to learn fate tomorrow. I really want to definitely delve into this particular story, Supra, entirely, because this particular one is, there has been something training over homosexuality here in Uganda. So the International Crimes Division of the High Court is tomorrow expected to decide the fate of a pastor who allegedly sodomized at least 13 pupils. That is Mr. Didas Mpaji Elias, known as also Bakulu, was the headmaster of Real Infant Primary School in Wakiso District when he reportedly committed the offenses between 2018 and 2019. Those are about 2 to 3 years down the road. So tomorrow they are going to be able to decide his particular fate. So each and every single thing that you need to know about this particular story as it evolves, we'll definitely be bringing it to your exposure right here on MCI Radio. But moving on swiftly, still into the Daily Monitor, a police shoot at suspected defilers occur in Bwaise, and of course, the floods leave at least 5,000 families homeless in Napak. This is something super bad and overwhelming. So we're definitely, we want to actually see how we can eradicate these particular things. As Uganda celebrates 59 years of independence, these are some of the things that we are supposed to actually be working on, or even when we've worked upon them entirely. By this time round, we should not be expecting anything like, like of such, floods, land mudslides, different other calamities that come into. Yes, someone would say these are natural calamities that we do not have control over, but there needs to be a plan that even when they come, they are not going to sabotage people's property and plans. They are not going to distract people's infrastructure and all other things that you can definitely talk about in that particular equation. But moving on into the news now, of course, looking into what is coming in from across the entire divide, we definitely need to understand what is happening, where, how is it happening, and probably what can we say about it as well. So we want to actually look into what is coming in here so that we better understand, even what our neighbors are going through entirely. So as we get into this particular one, we really want to understand a couple of different things. In the UK, to drop, quarantine requirements for travelers from 47 countries in there. So whatever you need to know about this particular one, you need to be able to understand. If you're a person who is so much interested in traveling, you definitely need to understand what requirements are required of you before you actually kick on your traveling as well. So to my friends who always want to travel, outside Uganda to the UK, you definitely need to know what you should need in this particular regard as well. But moving on swiftly, we definitely do want to understand as well, because very many things go on to happen. But in this particular regard, UK is throwing open the door to travelers. So that is something super good.
Oh, Uganda, may God uphold.
The reason as to why I loved that particular one, because over time now and again people have been restricted to traveling from the UK rather, but of course UK is now throwing open the door to travelers and of course eases restrictions by slashing the red list in there. UK had put certain countries under restrictions, under a red list, and now actually recently some football players were denied the right to travel to their specific countries to play the African, the World Cup qualifiers, because their countries were put on a red list, and if they would actually go and play, they were actually supposed to be quarantined for a couple of days. But now I think UK has now eased this particular restriction. So the British government says it will relax travel rules further next week, a move that will open up many long-distance holiday destinations to travelers for the first time since the onset of the coronavirus pandemic pandemic in a year and a half ago. So all is well. All is well as we speak, apparently. But moving on swiftly, the English Premier League approves Saudi buyout of Newcastle United. Newcastle United is under sale, and now I think it has been approved to be bought by a Saudi Arabian in there. The long list revealed by UK City of Culture 2025 is something that you should also interest yourself in finding out what is happening. But of course, moving on swiftly, in the US Navy nuclear sub damaged after hitting underwater object in the Pacific as well. So the US troops rotating into Taiwan for training, sources says in this particular regard. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to take a breather, and when we return, we'll definitely look into what we have for you today as we talk about all things related to Uganda. This is a beautiful jam coming in from APAS. Title of the song is Uganda. Enjoy it as we cruise through this beautiful morning.
Music, the bad man up to this. Put some wipe on panel and separate. Uganda, Kampala, I'm my city, I'm my place, my city. Uganda, Kampala, I'm my city, I'm my place, my city. Babilema muchibuga bali muchalo, abafa muchalo te bali na amalo, kuli mubigale bali mo wheelbarrow, nentinda bali manyebe janjalo. We run road like lion in a jungle, bad man tune drop down like a mango. Owolu gambo, taina musango, anonya milimo bamo kubila bilango. Obangu buwonyanga chihundo, kunyega omonya muchibundo. Tulugonya buli muntu ukubana mwana luje mukawoganda Kampala, I'm my city, I'm my place, my city. Uganda, Kampala, I'm my city, I'm my place, my city. Zijukira lulinga tole mu milembe yali mukwano gwange katya tunoza bukambwe abana ku interneti bakambwe musange wakanga bambi mwana wa mirembe abamu bazikolane bazifuna abalala basilabikana tebalina ekiroto kya busimba kalina n'omubuza bizinesi nga tagirina abazinonya mu bufunda abamu bakamula butunda ama mukwano gwe atandika nateka mu mukyalo li mu kibuga Kampala, I'm my city, I'm my place, my city. Uganda, Kampala, I'm my city, I'm my place, my city. Aja emiryango batunoza kamwenyo ufesi balungi nnyo engera nga babuuza mu kyalo. Keep working and play fool, abali ku kyeyo stay cool. Hey pastor, me tell you, hey. Uganda, Kampala, I'm my city, I'm my place, my city. Uganda, Kampala, I'm my city, I'm my place, my city.
You're listening to AMCI Radio, the coolest internet radio. AMCI Radio for African voices.
I am Ugandan, and I am proud to be Ugandan. Yeah, so let's go. Wachima Uganda, Wamaro, special more one rise to downtown. Wachima Uganda, Wamaro, special more. I'm a UG, I can't lie. The sun came up. The pearl gave light and the light reignites to the souls in sight. So now I'm standing, head held high, hand up with pride, head in the sky. Uganda, my motherland, no other place, no other land. Buganda, Tupadola, Kiss Kamawakato, Jawaran, cause we all are one. So people come to the place with no guns, but the Nile runs up north and pours out for our cause. So on board, people, let's go to a land with beautiful people. There's no other place in the world I know where there's love all year long. Hey, Chima Uganda, Wamaro, hey, Shoma, we wanna rise to downtown Chima Uganda, downtown, all of Wamaro, hey, Shoma, my UG, I can't lie. So as we journey on into a land far beyond, where men stand firm, kids play, women stay strong. At home, making homegrown, cook meals, oh how it feels good, oh how surreal. The mood stays each year, yeah, which is why we keep here. No need for fear, peace perseveres. Loud cheers, chants down the streets. Celebration, no need for jeers. A sovereign nation, unified with pride. So wave your flag and keep it high. It doesn't really matter where you are from. The pearl of Africa reunites all. On the plane, hey, show more. You wanna rise to downtown Chima Uganda, Wamaro, hey, show more. My UG, I can't lie. Productive fields, lakes and trees, beautiful sceneries, all I see. Smiling faces, steady pacing, treading places, none complacent. Hard workers keep on pushing till the wee hours, keep it moving. So utterly, like bumblebees.
You're listening to AMCI Radio, the coolest internet radio. AMCI Radio for African voices.
Your day sounds better with your music and your station playing on the background.
Online 24/7. The internet radio station for you. Listen to AMCI Radio anywhere, everywhere. We are AMCI Radio.
Ashensia, Steph London, Bunny Remix.
The Inter-University Media Challenge 2021 is here. This is an annual event which brings together students of journalism and media to compete and showcase talent in news gathering, production, and presentation, at the same time learning from the expert trainers and journalists from the media industry. Be the next celebrated journalist in the country, like many that have gone through our practical and experiential trainings.
Kayonga Paul, MBS.
Mordecai Mulisa, MBS.
Olivia Komgisha, NTV, Sandra Twinobio, NTV.
For more information, check out our website on www.mciug.org or call 0702 195 095 or visit our offices located at Tiropati Level 4.
Listen to The Puzzle every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. with Joseph El Shaddai on MCI Radio. The Puzzle, every piece in its position.
The hits just keep on coming.
Ashensia, Steph London, Bunny Remix. When you
Jazz of fresh hits, fresh talent, and connecting all universities. Download the AMCI Radio app on Google Play Store, the home of the African Voice, a free internet radio on radio.amciug.org.
Yeah, first you like me so much when I'm working.
It's not about the colors on the surface. It goes beyond the land that I have trodden. It goes before me everywhere I go. It's in the way I live and walk and talk. child. I'm here for you to raise me.
From Juliana Kanyomozi, the title of the song is I Am Ugandan. I Am Ugandan. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how I feel, but to me, I just feel like, okay, this day is one of the most celebrated days across the entire country as well. Besides all the underlying factors, this particular day is worth celebrating because this is a day where Uganda got rid of its colonial masters, and of course the Union Jack was put down and the Ugandan flag in the stripes of black, yellow and red was risen up entirely. So it is worth celebrating. It is worth celebrating as well as a nation. But allow me just maybe give you something that we need to know about Uganda as a country, and probably we do ask, what makes you proud as a Ugandan? What are some of those things that actually show that you are Ugandan? What things that make Uganda unique? Just share with us, because we are being gifted by nature. We are being gifted by a lot of different things in Uganda. I understand one particular fact is that we have over 1,000 bird species that we have as a country. Not like any other country does have those, all those gifts being granted to us. But of course, we know that Uganda is a particular country that we need to celebrate as well. We are located in East Africa, and of course, Uganda is an independent country with a booming economy. The mild weather is actually unmatched. Our weather is unmatched. That's why you see people travel from wherever they travel from to just come and be in Uganda. Of course, the breathtaking landscape, the flora, the fauna that we can talk about, the beautiful sceneries can never be left out of this particular image. There is no doubt as to why Churchill referred to it as the Pearl of Africa. So, happy Independence Day, motherland. Happy Independence Day, the Pearl of Africa, Uganda. We stand with the rest of the other country members to actually celebrate and, jubilate the 59th celebration of Uganda's independence as well. So the interesting facts about Uganda, may have you packing and maybe go to see for yourself. There are a lot of different things that we have, beautiful sceneries that we have as a nation. And probably I just want to take you through some of the interesting facts about Uganda. There are certain things that I might have left out, but feel free to actually feed me in and let me know what are they probably, so that we can definitely be on one particular page. I might not know each and every single thing